Dear President Trump, listen very carefully. Greenland has been part of the Danish kingdom for 800 years. It's an integrated part of our country. It is not for sale. Let me put it in words you might understand. Mr. Trump, fuck off.
If the translation was correct, the term you used is not allowed in this House, and there will be consequences to the message you have used. It is not okay in this House of democracy. Thank you. Regardless of what we think of Mr. Trump, it is not possible to use such language.
Well, that's a good way to start a hot take. when you're Donald Trump and you've lost the rightest of right-wing legislators around the world who have now told you to go F yourself and F off, you're probably not doing well on the world stage. The hero of the day for me is no doubt is Anders Vistesen, who leads a rightist of right-wing organizations in Denmark and represents that party in the European Union Parliament. He took to the floor of the Parliament, and you saw what he just said. What's it all about? It's all about Greenland and Donald Trump continuing to just lift his leg and sully the reputation of democracy around the world as he ignores sovereignty and tries to take over an independent territory in Greenland that is connected, of course, to Denmark for the last 800 years. All you got to do is look at the royal coat of arms for Denmark, and you'll see the close relationship. A giant bear now resides on the royal coat of arms, demonstrating their commitment to Greenland. I think there's a bigger story here. Yes, I laughed out loud when I saw the F off comment by Anders. It was. I also like the diplomacy around him being chastised. I mean, only slightly by the vice president Nikolai Stefanuta, who told Anders, if the translation was correct, the term you used is not allowed in this House. I'm doing my Danish accent or whatever. Or no, actually, Nikolai Stefanuta. I don't know, maybe Italy. I'm not sure. So I'll do a neutral accent. If the translation was correct, the term you used is not allowed in this House, and there will be consequences to the message you have used. It is not okay in this House of democracy. Thank you. Regardless of what we think of Mr. Trump, this is my favorite part. It is not possible to use such language. We all think he's a jagoff. We all think he should F off. But you shouldn't actually say it on the floor of the European Parliament. This is a broader problem for us in the world, putting all kidding aside. As I said in an earlier hot take, it's like when you put a wrap around your car to change its color. Donald Trump has taken the brand of American democracy, and he has temporarily, at least, wrapped it with this dark, ominous MAGA thing and hiding the light of democracy. He's supposed to be the ambassador for the brand of American democracy. And all he's doing is sullying our reputation around the world, generating new terrorist organizations and terrorists around us. I mean, Donald Trump is a master. He basically owns a opposition terrorist enemies manufacturing plant. He just creates them. We're not attracting any new countries to our brand of democracy because he's the current head of it and an embarrassment on the world stage. So we're not making any new democracies, and we're strengthening the hands of socialist and communist and Marxist and military regimes and dictators around the world, right? Who use him as a foil in order to not only suppress their own people and oppress their own people, but also to oppose the United States in a warlike fashion. You got that. It emboldens, except not for this guy, certain right-wing groups like in Italy and in Argentina to be like Trump and his fascist tendencies. It is just a bad, destabilizing set of affairs. This is a symptom of a broader disease. Anders Vistesen telling Donald Trump to his face to F off. Donald Trump's getting told a lot of things to his face recently, right? We've got the clip. I'm going to play the clip again here of Bishop Budd, an Episcopal progressive bishop in Washington in the National Archive. I'm sorry, I wish it was the National Archive, in the National Cathedral. at an interfaith prayer session with Trump and Melania and Usha and JD Vance and all that, telling him, but lecturing him from her bully pulpit, as only members of the clergy can do. Have mercy on the LGBTQ plus community. Have mercy on transgender people. Have mercy on people who are immigrants, who are not all criminals. Have mercy on them, and don't make them feel your oppressive response.
Let me make one final plea, Mr. President. Millions have put their trust in you. And as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here. Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger, for we were all once strangers in this land. May God grant us the strength and courage to honor the dignity of every human being, to speak the truth to one another in love, and walk humbly with each other and our God for the good of all people in this nation and the world. Amen.
Donald Trump, of course, didn't like that. And so he did she's a mean B word without using the B word, because she is still a member of the clergy, in a late night missive against her on social media. But by the way, on that one, he should have known better, because Bishop Budd has been very public against Donald Trump going back to 2020, when he crossed Lafayette Park with an upside-down Bible, using the military to clear the park in response to Black Lives Matter, to go hang out at a church across the street that he never went to after that, and using it for political purposes. And she thought that was disgusting and immoral and unreligious, and called him out even then. So when he saw her up at the pulpit, he should have already known he was in for it. But this is just examples of world leaders, clergy, and others now acting out against Donald Trump because they have to. 4 years of Donald Trump and 2 years of a campaign where Donald Trump is completely unhinged and completely ripped up the social contract. This is what you get in response. People standing up against the tyrant. It's not just talking truth to power. It's holding power accountable. That's why this flurry of lawsuits that we're now seeing, up to 7 or 8 already in the first 2 days of his administration, and it'll keep going. The ACLU alone, for instance, filed 400 lawsuits against the first Trump administration. You can quadruple that number. This is going to be 3,000 lawsuits because Donald Trump is drunk with power and signing all these crazy executive orders that were prepared for him by the Heritage Foundation, Leonard Leo, and MAGA. And that's what we're watching. So I want to continue to call it out here on Legal AF. This is a community that we built with you and for you, right? This is your network. This is your channel. Show your allegiance to us. Show your commitment to us and to democracy. Hit the blue subscribe button. Help us to continue to grow this community. There's a reason Midas Touch Network and Legal AF and me, we put together Legal AF, the YouTube channel, just before the election. So we would be there when it was the break glass emergency for democracy and at the intersection of law and politics. We are here. You are here. If you enjoy this, if you want more content coming to you, if you want to keep our lights on, okay, hit the subscribe button. I'm not begging yet, but we're getting close. But I do appreciate it. I am humbled by all the support that we have. The fact that we already have 420,000 or so subscribers after just 4 months of existence is a testament to you. And we are humbled by it. I am certainly humbled by it. And I appreciate you being here. So until my next reporting, I'm Michael Popok. In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories at the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.